There was that bike game.
That's Roller Champions, honey.
No, it's not. Royal Champions is a different game.
It was.
That's the role of champions in the background then.
That
Yeah, you might get a bit of that, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
We get a lot of knobheads on motorbikes. And it's also sweaty, so I refuse to shut the window. I've already turned the fan off. What more do you want?
That's pretty. That's going above and beyond.
It is, isn't it? We're sweating for this podcast. Taste the sweat, viewers.
Ew.
absolutely
Not you, don't worry, just the people listening.
Ew.
Or
Not
one of
tasting the
them.
sweat.
Just my mum listening, that'll be it.
Hello and welcome to the BeansTalk, the only podcast featuring three white people in the world talking about video games over the internet.
Yeah.
On this week's show, we've got tons of news to catch up on, including Ubisoft's weird showcase, Mario 3D All-Stars, and the Xbox Series X and S, and everything else to do with that. Also, some stuff that we've been playing, and joining me, Joel Doynes, is Oliver Saville.
Hello.
And Lauren Best,
Howdy.
who join me from their bed, like Yoko Ono and John Lennon.
Maxie B and John Lennon.
We are bunched together, sharing a headphone,
A headphone.
sharing a set of headphones, balancing a microphone on my knee on a lap tray.
And it's very sweaty.
I'm horrendously uncomfortable, and my back hurts, and I want to go to bed.
But
Well,
here we
guess
are.
what, Ollie?
Here we are.
Suck it up, Ollie. We've got to talk about these video games.
Them video games.
So, do you know what we should start with? The hot news. Not the hot news that's coming tomorrow, because, of course, the day that we decide to do this podcast, Sony decide that the next day is when they're going to drop all their news.
God damn it.
Well,
So
through
we'll
the
probably have...
editing, I can't believe that the PS5 costs Atlanta
500 and...
Wow. Look at that comparison between the Xbox we just talked about and this new information on the PlayStation.
I don't want that thing in my house.
Which one?
The PlayStation.
Wow.
It looks horrid.
Want an air conditioning unit instead?
We've got.
I mean, I'm gonna need
2008 Skybox.
Yeah, it's a big battle.
I mean, I basically need an air conditioner for the various devices in this room at the minute. So God knows, like, I don't want to. Like, this is the thing. The next gen of consoles, I've now got to start considering like airflow and stuff, which I haven't had to think about ever in my entire life.
I kind of dipped into that in the Xbox 360 era as I got onto my fifth Xbox and started poking shoeboxes full of holes to balance the Xbox on top of, to just try and steer the airflow.
See, my 360 was that limited edition Halo 3 one. With the one with the
one 360.
We had 3 360s, but only 2 original ones, and it was one each for
at least 4.
No, if you're careful with it, or you're so stubborn that you that you defy all logic because you don't want to give up this 360 with Master Chief's visor on the disc tray.
Fancy.
It was orange. It was orange on the disc tray and shiny. It was cool. But no, that thing didn't work from day one. I couldn't finish Halo 3 on normal. It would crash. I could only finish it on easy.
See, I went through just a few red rings on mine, and it ate the Street Fighter disc.
Oh. Munch. No Street Fighter for you.
I remember getting angry at my brother and shaking his Xbox with his FIFA game in it as payback.
See, I only just recently learned that you're not supposed to pick up a console when it's got a disc in it.
These current ones you can sort of do that with if you're careful, but the 360 was...
Yeah, we moved and Ollie was horrified to learn that I just moved my PlayStation from my mum's to our house
You
with
just shook them around like maracas.
with a disc in it. I think it was Red Dead. I think
Potentially.
Oh my god!
Yeah, just travelled in that.
I bet, Lauren. I bet you're the type of person that just threw any game into any case.
No.
It didn't matter as long as it lived in a case.
No, see, I couldn't do that. When it comes to like Switch games and DS games, however, I have dedicated like cartridges, or like at the moment I've got like a little plastic book thing that they all clip into for ease. So that means if I lose one, I lose them all, which I do.
Which isn't careful planning. I was the kind
That's
of kid
not careful
that mixed
planning.
Bionicle parts.
Yeah, on Bionicles, I'd build them, and then I'd take them apart within about the hour of like, so that they could conform to Megatron sort of stuff.
Hybrids.
I was building 6 feet tall like Bionicles from the top of my bunk bed down, and then making sure that they folded up right so I could take it into school, and then getting told off for bringing in a 6 foot tall Bionicle. But yeah, no. Talking of Bionicles, the Xbox Series X and S.
Wow, that's a thing.
A segue and a half. Guess you'll never guess where my segues go. Yeah, Microsoft sort of had a very bad time, I feel, and they handled this the only way that they could, which was just roll with the punches. So the Series X and S now have prices. The game of chicken is over between Sony and Microsoft, because Microsoft has basically... Yeah, I think it's pretty much like confirmed at this point that Microsoft is launching first and has a cheaper price, especially with the S.
Yeah, and the S is the aircon unit.
Yeah,
right.
That's the one that looks like a wall-mounted air conditioning unit.
I think that thing looks great.
Are you joking?
I love the look of the Series S, but I also love the look of the Series X. Do you know why? Because technology shouldn't look fancy anymore. It should just be slabs that mesh into the rest of your into the background of all your furniture, and you don't have to think about it. It doesn't look different. It's just a box. It plays your games, and you turn it off. If the software looks like if the software looks like shit, then we've got an issue. But
I kind of get you. I just need a box. I'm not buying a PS5 to look at a PS5.
But if and that's what I'll be playing my gaming slab.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me the slab. It's like whenever I'm looking at all these phone reviews, because my contract's up, so I'm now looking at new phones. And all these reviews talking about like, oh, it looks nice and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but does it play my gacha games well? That's I don't care what it looks like. It's going in a case.
As far as I'm concerned, the external design, whatever you want to, modern art style,
shell
of whatever software I'm using, it could have just stayed the same after Alien. That the retro futuristic, we should have just stuck with white boxes with green screens.
Like if I like, so I got my so the reason that this podcast has been delayed was delayed indefinitely was because my PC died.
Rip.
And I got it back, and they've turned on all the LEDs again. And I can't find the...
No.
I found the program to turn off like the ones that are like stuck to the inside of the case and stuff, but I can't find the one for the fan. So it's just this multicolored nightmare within a dark box. And I just want it to turn off. I don't want it to have LEDs. I hate RGB with a passion.
Can you press it up against a wall so you don't have to see it?
Well, so that's the thing. It's behind 2 monitors now, so I can't see it, but I can see it on like the reflection of my desk, just taunting me. It's bad enough that the GeForce, the NVIDIA cards don't turn off their LEDs, so I've just got this searing blue light whenever the lights go off, just humming in the background.
Yeah, I had the same thing in my old PC. It would project across my bedroom.
It's irritating, and all these fucking gamers fell for it, and now we're stuck with it forever.
Everybody wants their PC to just be Blade Runner.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm like, no.
Everything needs neon sci-fi lights.
When I ordered this machine, I only got it because the case was it was the most neutral one possible. If I could, I would have chosen the small form factor, which is literally just a black box and you put all your stuff in it, but then it would get too hot and stuff like that. I think the worst thing that they've done since they repaired it is that they flashed the motherboard again. Oh. So they replaced the motherboard in it, but they flashed it with the logo of the company. And for reference, I used to work at the company, so now it's like, they taunt me every time that I boot my computer up, and I can't and I just don't have the effort to go back into the BIOS to turn all that shit off. But no, back to the Series X and S. $250 for the S in the UK, which I think is Microsoft basically gunning for.
Please buy our slab.
Yeah, buy the slab because you can get the next gen games super easy on this.
Buy the slab, subscribe to Game Pass, have everything instantly.
Look at our slab.
Well, so in America they've got the subscription path where you pay $34.99 a month. You get the console and then you get Game Pass and Gold all in one package.
Wait, so you're subscribing for the console as well?
It's like a mobile phone subscription for 24 months.
Full on gaming contract.
Yeah, so they were doing that with the the Xbox One X, I think. They were doing that with the Xbox One at some point in America. But I also found out that they're not making Xbox Ones anymore, so
no, we had a struggle to even get a controller.
Yeah, Ollie broke both of our Xbox controllers.
I broke both controllers broke.
Well, they all of a sudden broke, and it was you using them. So I wonder correlation there. So he had a big meltdown about how he was never going to be able to play Halo. So I had to scour the internet to find one.
It was on Game.
Yeah, well, you looked at Amazon and then cried when they were too expensive.
I didn't cry. they were £90.
Yeah, so you had a Mardy, went to bed because you were never going to play Xbox games again, and I just simply checked another website and was able to source one in the next couple of days for £20.
Sorry, I thought you said you were scouring the internet.
Yeah, well, that's what it felt like after you did a big humph about it. So
a big humph. That might actually just be that Microsoft have wound down production on basically everything that's Xbox One. And then ramped up for Series X and S. So that controller has a dedicated share button on it and stuff like that. It looks exactly the same, but apparently it's better.
There's the Pro controller as well, which seemed to be.
I think that's trying to
all that was being pushed. I don't know if that's going to be carrying over to, or if they're going to release a version.
I would assume that they will release a version at some point that's with the Series X and S stuff. I don't know what to call these things. The Xbox Series, like X and S? Your X and S?
Xbox is all I can stomach.
Microsoft gaming slab coming to a home near you.
With confusing branding. Good luck, Grandma.
Grandma's coming home with an aircon unit.
Well, so this is why I think the S is partially priced the way that it is, other than it having lesser internals than the X. Is that, hey, Grandma or Mum or whoever is going to go into the shop in November and go, "Ooh, the new Xbox is only $250. Yep, here we go. Here's your Fortnite box, kid. Boom, done." And it comes with all these games as well. Boom, done.
Yeah. Easy Christmas for the elderly.
Exactly.
But to be fair, like, it is a hideous slab. However, I'm still very torn between hideous slab box / aircon or the dodgy Skybox reboot because it's so tall, and like I'm fairly certain that they are going to charge an extortionate amount of money to have the contraption that allows you to lay it down, which annoys me because with a very terrorizing dog, there is no way in hell that we're going to be able to have that upright without it going.
Oh yeah, no,
to the floor.
you will be shelling out $30 at the minimum for that piece of plastic to sit under the console. Yeah, no, this is also the reason why I think like the PlayStation 5, like Sony missed the mark. Is just like this didn't work for this didn't work during the PS3 either with the rounded top. All three PS3 consoles, yeah, exactly. The PS3 has to sit on top of everything, and then okay, the last iteration of the PS3 had to sit on top of everything because it had that sliding top. They got rid of the disc tray, then they just put a sliding top on top. But like, you were never able to put anything on top, and it's just annoying because now I have to rearrange everything just to, for this thing that's going to play my toys, basically.
Yeah, the PS4 was pretty optimum for stacking.
Yeah, it was quite small and sleek. It just fits in a
corner.
They
got that right. They achieved their prime.
Yeah, the PS4 is Tetris. The PS4 in general is maybe one of my favorite consoles, like design wise and just convenience wise.
Yeah, it slots under at one because we have two still because we have Ollie's downstairs and mine, which we rarely use these days, to be honest, in the spare room, and it just slots so perfectly underneath the TV.
Exactly. Now imagine trying to do that with this monstrosity.
Melvin is going to throw that to the floor within 5 seconds.
It's going to die.
Yeah, R.I.P.
The PS4 ate all of Melvin's fur, and the PS5 is just going to fall on top of Melvin.
Well, he had it coming, to be honest.
Revenge is a dish best served, Sony. The Series X I'm more surprised by being only $429 in the UK. I was fully expecting $599.
I suppose. Yeah, well,
considering what's inside it.
Yeah, I suppose, but I think they realised that with Sony holding out and stuff, they kind of had to play that card.
Oh yeah, no, like they're playing. They've gone back to the Xbox 360 book of like, hey, we're going to be the lowest price thing. We're going to be out first. We're going to have all the stuff, except none of these consoles have all the stuff at all.
Yeah,
there is nothing at launch for these things that you can't get anywhere else.
Do we have any launch? Halo anymore?
Oh, yeah.
No, Halo got delayed, and I don't think Halo would have been at launch anyway. I think Halo was slated for holiday 2020, which basically means December.
Yeah, So what you're saying is we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh boy!
Oh yeah, it's all third party stuff, and basically whatever's on Game Pass that week.
I honestly think that they do like the biggest problem that these companies have. And Nintendo is also just as bad. They scramble. They only want to release stuff in the holiday period because they want those Christmas sales, and it is stupid because they're never ready. So they're like, push everything back, but we still got to release it for holiday season to get those Christmas sales, and
which is absolutely the reason why Halo got pushed into 2021 because hey, this is our flagship title. We need to sell these consoles. If everyone's laughing at Halo, like, then but also like these consoles are weird because everyone else is like, hey, our consoles are the touchstones. They're the cornerstones of our brand. Like, you can only play these games here. But then Microsoft is just like, everything's launching on PC, everything's launching on the Xbox, everything's also going to be available on streaming.
Microsoft have given me every opportunity possible not to buy their console.
Yes, and I still want their console, which is weird. Well, so this is the thing. I still want a Series S because there are things on Game Pass that I can't access on PC. And I don't have an Xbox One. and it's now actually cheaper for me to buy a Series S than it is to locate an Xbox One for Game Pass stuff.
I am pretty pleased though, because I remember Ollie was like, do we get the PS5? Do we get the next Xbox? I want to play Halo. So it does help that it's all been pushed to PC, because it's narrowed it down that we can just play PS5.
I think Microsoft have seen, like, Halo has never been more relevant since it launched on PC, which is a bizarre thing to say considering that Halo 5 is basically a crater of player base, and not everything is out on PC yet for Halo. I got the list of
start to find Halo 5.
Oh, I think Halo 5 is a lost cause for a PC port at this point. It'll be like a nice last surprise, like next year, I bet. I got the list of launch games, definite launch games.
Okay, hit me with some.
Just a few. I don't know if these are all like at launch.
Okay.
Or whether within the launch window, which is my favorite phrase that they always use.
It's just a big ass time window.
It's just Phil Spencer throwing cases out of his bedroom window, like, is this enough for you? Is this enough? Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh boy.
You know, the creator also kind of don't want to buy that game considering everything that's going on with Ubisoft.
Yeah. I don't want to buy another Assassin's Creed game. I gave Assassin's Creed a chance a few months ago, and I kind of enjoyed it, and then I haven't touched it since I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked Odyssey a lot. You played Origins.
I was playing Origins. Yeah,
which I think we both basically described it as like choosing which Pokemon color you wanted to play.
It absolutely is. Just pick your version exclusive region.
Yeah, or more similar to like Fire Red and choosing between Fire Red and Emerald when that came out. Like, they're totally different games, but they kind of do the same thing.
They are the very same base game with a different world for you to explore.
Destiny 2 Beyond Light.
Sure.
Okay.
Which is coming out on everything.
Are you still playing Destiny 2?
I haven't touched it since. I haven't touched it since we tried to do a co-op session.
I remember that, and I also remember you arguing the case for Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 at launch was really, really good, and then it became, and then it suddenly turned into Destiny, which is very limited, very little content. Wait a couple years for more stuff, then jump back into it once they've completely overhauled the game. But that entire, like, Bungie's in a weird situation anyway with leaving Activision. So that's no longer an Activision game.
So Destiny 2 did not move house with me. There is a copy of Destiny 2 just sitting at my mum's house somewhere.
Well, it's free to play now, Ollie. Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
So this is also another weird one in that it's a timed exclusive on console, but it's still coming to PC. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is bizarre considering, hey, those things are PlayStation.
They will sell about 10 Xboxes over there.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've already had it. They've already had it for a while.
Oh, okay.
In Japan, I think this is nearly 2 years later. By the time it comes out, so Yakuza Like a Dragon is not the soft reboot of Yakuza. It is a continuation using a new character, new storyline, because Kiryu's story wrapped up in 6.
Okay.
So it's still Yakuza 7, but it doesn't use any of, like, there's no combat. It's an RPG.
Oh, okay.
as in like
Sorry, Lauren is yanking my earphone out.
Sorry, I sat
She's
on
forgetting that we're connected.
No, I sat on it. I'm
connected,
sorry.
like a little fetus to the mother.
Yeah, that's a great way
like
to describe a
tiny
couple.
Norman Reedus baby.
Climb into her throat and put the thumbs up.
What are you doing?
Yeah, no, Yakuza Like a Dragon uses turn-based combat.
Okay.
And RPG, like, because the main character is a big fan of Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
So he sees the world like Dragon Quest. And you summon people through your mobile phone.
I'm going to drop my very limited knowledge about Yakuza that this name comes from the Japanese title. I want to say that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is the series called Like a Dragon in Japan?
Yes, I can't remember what it's called. I've got all 6 on my shelf, and I can't tell you what it's called in Japanese.
I believe that might be a correct fact, so I can.
I believe so.
Pretend Ollie. I know something about these games.
Then so launch stuff not really there. Whatever, you've already got stuff to play on these consoles if you want them. Whatever. But so speaking of Game Pass, the price on PC is going up.
It is. I got the dreaded email.
Yeah, I did as well, and I just quickly closed it and ignored it, and it'll just be another amount of money that leaves my account every month until
I don't read this email. I won't know that they're charging me more. I won't know that they've doubled.
I'm gonna miss £1 for all these games.
You were still paying £1.
I unsubscribed and then subscribed again, and it was like introductory offer £1.
Sneaky.
Game Pass on PC is getting better and better.
It is, because we're now getting
actual games that people.
Well.
Yes. So Origin, EA's Origin has been completely rebranded.
Yeah, and I actually paid for it. I subscribed to Origin Premier.
So I think that's still the better version of whatever this subscription that's being folded into Game Pass is. I think the one that's being folded into
increasing my monthly fee for the service I already own then.
No. So I think the one that's been folded into Game Pass this holiday is basically just like the very basic version of whatever Origin is currently.
Right.
Like, here's all 3 Dead Space games and a Mass Effect.
Yeah, so I totally subscribed to this thing for a backlog of Mass Effect and Dragon Age games.
Yeah, so I think all that stuff's in.
Not touched. But hey, the Sinking City is on there.
Well, I was browsing, so I got this PC back, and I was browsing, and I was like, oh, Crusader Kings 3 is on there, which we'll talk about in a bit.
It sure is.
But then also, like, Hypnospace Outlaw, and I don't know, Disgaea 4 is there now for some reason.
Yeah, but added last week, I believe.
I'm all about my anime games getting added to my American service. Yeah. So the weirdest thing is that, did you see the leaked video that was supposed to go out to? I don't know if it's supposed to go out to like partners, or press, but it's like this leak. It was like this very weird setup of like a very fake interview, very all marketing speak, between like the 3 main people behind the Xbox brand at the minute.
Laser speak.
Exactly. So Phil Spencer and 2 others. I can't remember who they called, but 2 ladies. And then they're all being interviewed basically by the head of marketing. So it was just them spouting off, all the stuff. But it was very clear that this was how they were supposed to announce and explain stuff to partners and shareholders and stuff. And so that was weirdly produced thing. I'm kind of glad that they just dropped it on Twitter because it was the most boring half hour of my life. Yeah, I am excited for new consoles, but not. I'm excited to see what Sony do, but there's nothing that I will. I won't be buying these until at least the end of 2021 at this point.
I feel like I'm gonna not get any excitement out of queuing up to get one of these on release day.
No.
But I want to play that Spider-Man game. So guess what, Sony? You got me.
Well, guess what? It's called Delivering Online.
Well, yeah. I wanted to be a bit more dramatic. I wanted to create a picture. I'm not gonna queue.
I'm just gonna wait at the doorstep.
I'm not gonna leave my house.
No, there's a pandemic raging. Video games aren't that important. Stay inside.
I can play video games inside. I will more than happily stay inside.
Exactly. And then Ubisoft had a thing.
They certainly did.
I didn't watch any of this. I only saw screenshots after the fact and trailers. I have not even watched this Immortals Phoenix Rising trailer.
Oh, you've not even watched it yet?
No, I haven't seen any.
Good Lord.
So the only stuff that I've heard is like they made no mention of any of the allegations and there's bullshit going on in Ubisoft. Not even like a public apology. And then they kept cutting away from the company that has an issue with representation at the minute then just cut away to dudes with beards every time that they needed to talk about a game. Ollie, Lauren, what the fuck happened at Ubisoft where they thought exciting news was Aiden Pearce is returning to Watch Dogs 3?
Oh my god.
That game looks otherwise pretty interesting.
I've
said before how I want to recruit my army of just
old ladies,
old biddies with gun umbrellas or whatever.
I do like the idea that they all just have like random like quirks and stuff. Like one guy might have the hiccups, so you better not use him for stealth missions. They included that in the trailer, and I thought that was quite cool. And then Aiden Pearce happened.
And that's all very interesting. Of having these randomized characters. Who the fuck remembers Aiden Pearce?
So, did you play Watch Dogs 2?
I didn't. I've not played any Watch Dogs.
Aiden Pearce is in Watch Dogs 2 as like a side mission, and he doesn't even appear in this. He basically appears for about 2 minutes because they realized how fucking boring Aiden Pearce is. So where is the dead I can't remember what they call themselves. Dead Cell?
I haven't got a clue.
Watch Dogs 2. I'm now looking up I can't remember. It's 2016 I played that game. Watch Dogs 2, really good. I would recommend people play that. I'm now actually looking for the name of the character because I can't remember his name. Talk amongst yourselves about the thing.
Yes, there was that, but then there was good old Greek Zelda. Greek Breath of the Wild.
Right. Yes. Okay, explain this.
Okay, so back in the day, like last year, when its working title was Gods and Monsters, they released.
Was that a couple of years ago now?
Yeah, I think so. They released very little about it, but I remember instantly being super interested because the art style looked really interesting, and I'm a sucker for a good like ancient Greece and all that stuff. So I was instantly like, huh, okay. But then when they released the fact that they changed the name, the name is dumb. Immortal Phoenix Writing, Phoenix spelled in a kooky way because we're so hardcore and interesting.
So apparently, I don't know how much truth there is to this. This is just something that I read today on Reddit.
Yes, but I was about to drop this.
But apparently this was due to a lawsuit from threat of a lawsuit from Monster Energy.
Yes.
For using the word monster in their title.
Shut up.
So I'm pleased to announce my farming game, Red Bull.
Oh my, yeah, so it I don't like the new name.
No.
So to be fair, like I was very interested in when they started showing footage. I was like, I like the way it plays. Like instantly, you can tell from the way that everything's moving and the mechanic wise, it is a bit of a Breath of the Wild knockoff. But I was willing to forgive it.
You could be forgiven for completely ignoring this game because you think it's the new expansion for Raid Shadow Legends.
But like the combat is totally different. The combat is more like combos and stuff, and it does look interesting. I really like the art style; it looks really cute. And then they started talking about their knockoff shrines, and that is where my heart just sank a little bit because I was like, "Did you leave any Breath of the Wild stone unturned? Like, it's bad."
So this is the thing. I guess we're hitting the point where the Breath of the Wild knockoffs are finally emerging.
Yeah, it's been 4 years.
It's been 4 years, and between Dark Souls and what was that Xbox One launch game? Lords of Shadow?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, between that and like
Souls games now.
Yeah, so I guess like we've burnt through the Souls stuff, so now we need to do sandboxy, mini, like compartmentalized, clever stuff.
So
which I'm for.
I'm all for the idea of this game, and then we got to this kind of little walkthrough that they showed after the trailers and stuff, and I just found myself kind of calling the gameplay before they showed it. So
yeah,
we get a little flash of the character with wings, and I just saw this and thought these wings are going to be the paraglider. You're not going to flap on these wings, you're going to glide. And then sure enough,
she was gliding.
she glides along.
Then there was everything was covered by clouds, and Ollie instantly went, "Bet you remove the clouds by finding a tower that gives you the rest of the map." And then
we got signal towers.
All of a sudden, she's on a mountain, and the map comes out.
We got large monuments to climb.
I mean, that's just every Ubisoft game since what was it? Assassin's Creed 2.
So this is obviously going to have a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey in it.
They even have their own version of the divine beasts and the champions. Like you find a specific god to help you and lend you their power. You unlock more stamina by completing puzzles that you find all over the map.
So they show these 4 corners of the map, and each one has a different god that you're rescuing, and they're talking about how you can approach these in any order, and this is all nice, and this is all Breath of the Wild. And then we got shrines that, again, you'll find these dotted across the map. They'll boost your stats, and they'll teleport you to a nice little flying challenge or whatever. And it's all very nice, and
I'm sure it will be very enjoyable. But it's just like, at least there was just no room for any originality with what they did. They were like, yeah, let's take this bit as well. This did really well, and it gave me a little bad taste in my mouth because, like, I do still want to play it, but I do feel like it's a little tainted by the fact that it's just a rip-off.
But you basically already elected to get this on Switch.
Yeah.
To get your Zelda fix.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'm moaning, but I'm gonna buy it. Because it still looks interesting. I'm grumpy because it is a rip-off with what they've done and how much they've lifted from it. But at the same time, like, I'm a basic bitch and I kind of want to get it, so...
Well, talking of basic bitches...
Oh, yeah.
Prince of Persia?
Ollie, go for it.
Yeah. Everyone's angry.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, why is everyone, other than it apparently looking like shit?
I said this because
you said the same thing, and
you defended it.
I defended this, and everyone's angry, and I'm going to defend it again.
Oh
no! It doesn't look great. It doesn't look spectacular.
So, this is basically the only thing that I've followed because I have near enough no connection to Prince of Persia. I was like, this might be a good because the only like real way to play them at the minute is via emulation or the awful PC ports
I was going to say
of the original trilogy.
For for £2 each at the moment.
They are terrible PC ports. Do not play them. They are like nigh impossible to play because they don't recognize controllers properly. Because it was PS2, PS2 to PC. Like it was that era where if you weren't making a PC game first, like fuck you. No, so I was reading an interview with I think the main team behind this port, which is Ubisoft India.
Yeah.
So not only might this I can't remember, I should have like copied some of this stuff down, but it might have been the Switch version that they were showing.
Is that their excuse for it looking like crap?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I honestly knew next to nothing about the original game. I had seen nothing of the original game, and when they started showing the footage of the new version, I thought it was still the old game because that's how shit it looked.
I very fondly remember the original trilogy. I played them on Xbox, and
yeah,
it's not a major upgrade, but they look passable. They clearly tried to keep the old art style and just give it a
so there's a pre-order bonus.
Okay.
That will give you the old art style back.
Who wants that?
The old graphics, or
as like a filter, like pre-order now and you can
as a pre-order bonus.
Let me just double confirm this because I saw this image.
The thing we had a button to do in Halo for those 5 seconds where you go, oh, this is what this used to look like, and here's how it looked.
That's
now.
it.
I'm not
switch between Prince of Persia remake and the original game with pre-order bonuses. Also includes classic weapon set, classic filter, and classic Prince outfit.
Sounds like here's a gift of something you already... Do you know what it's like? It's when you get something really shit for Christmas and you instantly think, who can I re-gift this to? And then you wrap it up in a gift bag from somebody else and you give it to someone else. And there you go. You did a great thing. You didn't spend any money and you've given away a terrible gift.
What you're describing is when an unnamed family member bought me FIFA 2004 in 2007 because they knew I liked football.
Well, it's the thought that counts. So they're building this remake in the current Ubisoft engine.
Okay.
So apparently, Ubisoft India, some guy from Ubisoft India basically did an interview, and the gist of it was like, "Hey, this is really hard to build in this engine because it's a linear game in an engine that's designed specifically for open world stuff." So I think it'll be one of those that suddenly comes together last minute. And it might be better on launch.
I think you can get by on nostalgia for this. I think it's well remembered enough.
This is quite literally Ubisoft making sure that people are still interested in a Prince of Persia game.
Yeah.
So there was one internally that was cancelled that was basically just a full reboot, but not the 2008 reboot.
No, that one was.
And not the reboot tie-in based on the movie.
The movie tie-in that wasn't a movie tie-in.
No, and was like slightly a remake of the first game.
It was sort of the first game, but just released at the same time as the movie.
Yeah, and it had a different look to it.
I guess it didn't have Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
No, because he cost money.
No.
But no, so there was like internally like an Assassin's Creed-esque Prince of Persia game that was canned because we're just making Assassin's Creed.
So didn't Assassin's Creed start as a Prince of Persia game?
Yes, as far as I remember.
And then just kind of ditched that.
And then because it's like Resident Evil 4. Devil May Cry started as Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
You suddenly get too far away from what the original vision was, that hey, we've got a brand new thing,
and we did a lot of work already, so
use these assets. The other Ubisoft thing, which I will personally come into each person's house who dares use the words quadruple A game. I will come into if any games journalist or any YouTuber writes a script or an article or hosts a video, I will personally come into each of your houses or studios and smash the camera that you filmed or recorded that audio with, or wrote on the keyboard. I'll snap your keyboard over the back of my knee, because
back of your knee.
Yeah, the back of my knee. That's how
like
angry. That's how angry I am.
So you're gonna leg drop it.
Yes, I'm gonna Hulk Hogan
You're gonna Hulk up.
I'm gonna then sue it for millions of dollars and put loads of people out of work, because I'm a bad person.
This is getting wildly out of control.
Yeah, no. So apparently they've got quadruple A games. So if you bear with me, I'm just snapping my microphone in two. Which include Beyond Good and Evil 2 and
that game's never getting released.
I remember there was an E3 bit from Giant Bomb's couch stuff, and one of the guys interviewed Ubisoft at the time, and they were just like, yeah, and like he just the guy in charge just basically sits out in his studio and eating cheese and stuff like that. And it's like, you've got a video game to make, guy. The only things that exist of Beyond Good and Evil 2 are that trailer and that weird gameplay demo that they put out, of like in-engine, like proper development stuff. Nothing in this game works. It's just the world exists. And then that I think it's the pirate game that they announced and then never released. The pirate multiplayer PvP game.
It was Skull and Bones, but
Skull and Bones. That's it.
Anymore.
What a name!
I don't think it's that, and I think it's just a naval combat sim now.
Yeah, which is entirely based off the Assassin's Creed naval stuff.
Yeah,
because that. Once they put that in 4, it was in everything else since. Even if it didn't really fit, it was in it.
So I think that's in Odyssey, and
it's in Odyssey, and I believe it's
Origins.
I believe it's in Origins.
Yeah, I think it's in Origins, but I've not touched a boat.
No, basically in Odyssey it became like another way just to hit the fast travel point.
Because that game is far too big.
Yeah,
so you need
basically
to do when you're lost in the ocean.
Exactly. So that's Ubisoft. Basically, that company's on fire. They survived Vivendi, but they couldn't survive themselves.
I think we got a Sam Fisher cartoon as well. I really tuned out by this point.
Oh, there's never going to be another Splinter Cell game.
Once again, Sam Fisher showed up
in a game that he's
everyone.
Yeah, he's in Rainbow Six Siege. He's in that Elite Squad game, which I've uninstalled. And he's basically just like, we'll throw him in Ghost Recon, I guess.
Is that what it was for?
He was in Ghost Recon as well, as like a DLC. And then the other, like, major, like, I say major, but Lauren.
Hello.
Mario 3D All-Stars, you pre-ordered it.
I've pre-ordered it because I want it.
Because of that limited digital release.
No, I
it really got you good.
No, it didn't. It was a limited. I didn't know about the limited digital release bullshit. I just knew that they would print limited copies, and I like to have a physical copy. We've been through this. I'm a hoarder. I want to hold it in my hands, and I want to smell the new plastic when I open up a game. I've pre-ordered it. It comes out in 3 days on the day that we record this.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it comes out on the 18th.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you know what I'll be doing this weekend.
If we get it in time.
Yeah, probably won't.
So this is the story that Nintendo, for the 35th anniversary of Super Mario, their biggest thing in the world, they basically bundled together the best of the best of the 3D games: Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, and not Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah. Well, okay. I would have bought this, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but I would have still paid this stupid price if it was just Super Mario Sunshine. Joel, we have spoken about our love for this game
Yes.
before.
So I love all three of these games.
Yep.
I would have preferred an up-resed version of Mario 64 DS as an option, because that game is better than Mario 64, and I will go to my grave with that dirty opinion.
You dirty person.
Mario, the problem I have with it, so every problem that I've had with it has been sort of answered, and then some of the my more pressing pressing questions are not been answered either. So Mario Sunshine relies on those analog triggers from the GameCube, because trying to emulate that thing with a GameCube controller plugged into the Smash Brothers GameCube device that they released a few years ago, that basically just converts GameCube to USB, doesn't really work in Dolphin. So it basically just becomes a solid press down. The Joy-Cons don't have any analog to them. So I'm wondering what they've done internally to make sure that that game's playable on a Joy-Con.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it will play, because it is...
Because that game relies heavily on the GameCube controller, not in the same way that 64 relies on the Nintendo 64 controller, which was, the camera controls map very easily from the C buttons to an analog stick. Yeah, I'm nervous about that game.
I'm hoping
that
they
game
thought
package,
it through, because they've given it this jazzy upgrade, but I really hope that they have.
But even then, it's not to me. It's it's nice to have it playable in a format that's not emulated and difficult to deal with. Playing that game on a PS4 controller is the weirdest thing going. But I am incredibly nervous, to buy it and then realize, oh shit, everything that's online at the minute has been confirmed, which is these are all emulated.
Yeah.
These are all emulated versions, and it's not the Nvidia Shield version of Mario Galaxy that they released in China.
Well, to be honest,
which gets rid of all the motion controls.
I'm curious to see how they'll do that as well, because I've played very little of Mario Galaxy because I never had it. I only ever played it at a friend's house, so I'm excited to have that to play. But I'm going to be curious to see what your opinions are of how it plays compared to the original.
So, also bearing in mind, it has been about a decade since I last touched Mario Galaxy.
Unacceptable. You should still have this fresh in your memory.
But it has been it has been less time since I've touched 64 or Sunshine, because
Sunshine will be forever with me. I just don't.
Sunshine will be forever with me, but Lauren, they need to add an option in to invert the controls on the camera, because left is right and right is left on the camera controls.
I forgot about that.
I got this when I was playing Halo.
Yeah,
and you got the shield guy shouting at you to invert your controls, and I realized that they were default inverted, and it makes me feel a bit ill.
Yeah. It's hard to get used to. Not many games.
But
really do that.
everything else with Sunshine is correct.
Yeah.
It's just the left and right camera control is wrong.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see if I'm still just as shit at that game as I was as a child. I remember out of all the Mario games, and I've played most of them, I remember that one I struggled with the most, but it was the best kind of struggle that you used to get before Nintendo tried to hold your hand through everything, where it was just so fucking rewarding when you did the thing.
So I will admit that it's one of my favorite Mario games. My favorite Mario game of all time is Yoshi's Island.
Fair.
I am not looking forward to struggling through those floodless levels.
Oh.
The pachinko one, especially.
Yeah.
There are points of that game that have not aged well.
There's definitely going to be only so far that nostalgia will carry me. I'm definitely going to be an angry gal.
Yes, it is why it's going to be the next Mario video that I do. And I guarantee that I will have to cut a lot of swearing out of it.
Yeah.
Because I've been practicing, I've been doing like a practice run on Dolphin, and I am realizing like a lot of that game is still very good. Blooper Fight, still very good. Most of Rico Harbor, still very good. Bianco Hills, great.
Oh, yes, the hills.
Noki Noki Bay, still terrible with the poison water.
Oh, the poison water was honestly, I just remember, as a child, I used to be that kid that if they couldn't do it, they'd cry. And I feel like that's going to rebirth in me, even at 26. I feel like I'm still going to be reduced to tears.
I will call you up and cry together.
Thank you.
Fuck that level. But no, so with Galaxy, at least he like settled everyone's fears about Waggle.
Yes, true.
So the main concern was like, hey, Switch Lite players won't be able to play this game.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. Like, if it's going to be all motion controls with the Joy-Cons, like what are the people going to do? Just throw their one console
Switch around? Yeah, exactly. You know, like a frisbee.
Yeah. Hope for the best.
Hope for the best, but no. So they're basically mapping. They're basically just applying the NVIDIA version of Galaxy's controls to. So like the Waggle will be mapped to Y.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I will buy that game. I will buy that game probably on the 19th, just after everybody has suddenly gone. Yeah, it's fine.
So you're,
or if it's totally on fire, I will still probably buy it.
But on the 20th.
Yeah, I'll see what they do. I'm very weirded out by some of the decisions being made by these major companies. Like, hey, limited digital release.
Yeah,
like, who the fuck do you think you are?
What is that about? I didn't even hear about that until after I'd already pre-ordered.
I guarantee that it will go off sale and then all 3 games will be put up on the eShop on the 1st of April.
April Fools.
They're 100% going to be up there.
Yeah.
I briefly left the room and got back just in time to chime in. this fucking stupid idea of these. I don't know. Are we short on files? Do we have a physical number of? Maybe this game is stored on memory cards.
Floppy disks.
You're going to open the case and it's going to be 3 individual Switch cartridges.
Oh, don't.
For you to lose.
Oh, no.
That's what I wanted to say. Like, speaking of like stupid decisions and stuff, like Xbox Series S won't be playing upright. Like won't be playing. We'll be playing Xbox One. I've got to get all these brand names into my so the Xbox Series S won't play Xbox One X versions of 360 games.
Wait, what?
Right.
So you know how it upreses and basically adds and on Xbox One games as well. It adds some like fancy stuff to it and like massages it.
The base Xbox One.
It'll do Xbox One S versions of last gen and 360 games.
So is
performance wise, because it can't output 4K, it can only up-res to 4K. So I don't fucking know. Like, those games aren't going to look good in 4K anyway, so... And they don't support it as is. Right, so that is Nintendo, Ubisoft, and Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
What about Oh no, it's not Nintendo. Done. Hyrule Warriors?
Oh yeah, Age of Calamity, is that it?
A prequel to Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild 2 is probably not going to come out till I predict like end of 2021.
It'll be holiday 2021. Nintendo loves to capitalize on that holiday season.
Checking through that window.
Big ass
window. That or a new console launch.
Well, there is talk of the upgraded Switch, isn't there? So I could see them partnering that together, because obviously Breath of the Wild came out with the Switch, so maybe they'd like to tie those twos together.
Yeah. This Hyrule Warriors, did you play the original Hyrule Warriors?
I've never played one of these games ever.
I didn't play Hyrule Warriors. I played one of the Gundams.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
I think that's about it.
Ollie, it's that, but with Zelda.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
These games, I can't remember what they call them. Mushu games?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, when Ollie was explaining the concept of these games to me some time back, when he told me there was a Fire Emblem one, I see the appeal, but like the appeal lasts 5 minutes. It's the kind of game that I would enjoy playing, that if somebody else had bought it and I was at their house, had a bit of a smashy, and then I would be bored, because it seems super repetitive. I get the appeal to an extent, but I can't see myself putting many hours into a game like that.
Yeah, so that was pretty much like my reaction to Hyrule Warriors. So I had it on the Wii U. I finished it once, and then it basically went, now do it as bad guys.
Yeah.
Wait, so you actually finished the game? There's a finish?
There is a definite end.
So they do have a story where you're not just endlessly running around a battlefield.
Because that's what it feels like to me, and I just...
No, you do have
No, there's like... Yeah, there's like legitimate, like... So the Dynasty Warrior games are all, you know...
You just have large maps that you're dropped into with many things to kill.
And then there's like cutscenes and stuff surrounding.
Yeah, I guess
giving you.
It looks really cool. I'll give it that. Like, I looked at the gameplay and the trailers and stuff, and I love that it looks like it's just been pretty much lifted from Breath of the Wild. But
I bashed through this game to get to some Breath of the Wild cutscenes, I guess.
I can't. I feel like Ollie will end up buying it at some point, and I'll maybe have a go. But at the same time, like, as much as I love Breath of the Wild, I wouldn't even put the combat up there in my favourite parts about the game. So
I mean, it won't be the same combat.
It's absolute. This game literally looks like Hyrule Warriors, but with a Breath of the Wild skin thrown on top.
I think the main appeal with this is Hyrule Warriors kind of falls into that sort of fan servicey realm.
Yeah, they're like, hey, do you want to play as? Yeah, do you want to play as Midna?
Sure.
Do you want to play as Ganondorf?
Exactly. It's just, here's a chance to smash some stuff up.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
I think obviously they did Persona 5 Scramble as well.
Yes.
That also kind of tried to tell a bit more of a coherent story.
Yeah, so I've not really looked much into Scramble, but I assume it's fairly similar in scope to those fighting games that they put out.
Oh, yeah.
Where the story is probably very visual novel heavy.
Yeah.
And you basically are just playing through the game just to get to the next visual novel bit. So I guess this game will just be a watch the cutscenes on YouTube and then forget about it.
Yep, pretty much.
The other Nintendo thing is that No More Heroes 3 has been delayed to 2021.
Oh.
I like no reaction from this. Okay, moving on.
I've not kept up.
No reaction. No, Grasshopper manufacturer has been hit pretty hard by COVID, so they're basically just like, delaying it. It's supposed to come out this year, I think.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep it together because Lauren is just sitting open mouthed.
I'm trying to get... You know when you... I'm sorry to interrupt, but
I don't know what is going on
here.
You know
when you've got a yawn and it doesn't want to come out.
No.
I'm just trying to coax it and it's not coming.
Because I'm not a coward.
Whoa. So
I'm not scared of a yawn.
The problem is with our bedroom. Have you seen our bedroom when you visited us?
No.
We have we don't give you a little tour of there, but most of the wall that our bed faces is a massive wardrobe that's just one giant mirror. So as we sit on the bed, we can see ourselves. And I was yawning or trying to, and Ollie was just like silently pissing himself at my face in the mirror.
I'm gonna take your word for it that it's funny, but I'm not in the room.
No.
The room.
The
No, you
womb.
didn't.
I'm not
you
in the
didn't
womb.
Describe it great. I'll still do
Should-
it.
Hey, do you know what's more interesting than that?
What?
Graphics cards.
Graphics cards.
Big old graphics cards.
Big old blocks.
Giant
So-
big slab boys.
In response to Nvidia announcing and basically ready to be launched 3090, 3080, and 3070, AMD have launched a model of the RX 6000 into Fortnite so that so that you can have a look at the card in Fortnite.
Oh.
Wow.
Go boy.
That's marketing 101.
Put it in Fortnite.
Does this actually work?
I don't
child
know.
Physically look at a graphics card.
I bet they do, and they're like, Dad, Fortnite says I should get it. Can I get it? And Dad
Yeah, my
doesn't.
computer will run better with this inside it.
And they'll beg for half a year, and then it'll get to holiday season. The big window opens up, and they're like, "Oh my god, if it'll shut Timmy up, get him the card."
And by then, we're proud to announce the release of the 4090.
It's bigger than my child.
So, the guy who runs Nvidia pulled the RTX 3090 out of his oven because he did the thing from home.
Right.
So
he pulled it out of his oven because it had been baking for a long time.
Oh my god! You would get Mary Berry doing that.
Mary Berry's little skeletal arms couldn't lift up the 3090. Never mind, pull it out of the oven.
Mary Berry.
This thing is fucking huge. It doesn't fit in current PCIe slots. So basically, it does fit, but the way that I think it takes two.
Right.
Two, like you will need to make concessions in your case if you want this thing inside it. It's also $1,500.
Yikes.
But it does do it does well it does 8K. it does 8K.
Do me a game.
Lots of games. 8K HDR gaming. Anybody? This thing's fucking massive, but the more interesting ones are the 3080 and 3070.
The real people cards.
The real people cards. The 3080 is $699 and outperforms the 2080 Ti, which was $1,200. Basically, these cards.
All of the numbers. I can't keep up anymore.
Well, they basically reset themselves, didn't they? When they moved to GTX and RTX, they basically reset themselves because when it was just GT, they reached like 9600.
Yeah, so
I want to say
I built my first PC just after the reset, so I got like. You
were on the 750, weren't you?
I had the 760. And then...
Yes, because I remember you discussing this with me at uni the first time that I met you.
Yeah, and then I briefly upgraded to the 970.
Yes, and then that PC went away.
That PC is sat next to my Destiny 2 copy at my mum's house. And now I think we're on the 1070.
What, in your laptop?
In the laptop, yeah.
Yeah, so...
and now we've been made obsolete.
No, so the 1070 will be fine for I wouldn't consider upgrading to the 30 series if you're on, like, unless you were really feeling the pinch.
Oh, I'm not cracking this thing open.
No, that thing can't be. I wouldn't worry about it. You're probably going to have to go the eGPU route if you want, like a modern graphics card on it. But no, the 3080 and the 3070 are very nicely priced for what they are, and seem like this is like, if you're on the 1070 or the 10 series, hey, because even Jensen was like, the guy who runs Nvidia, Jensen Huang, I've probably butchered that name. He basically looked into the camera and said, now's the time to upgrade if you're on the 10 series.
Cool.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
But, you know, new graphics cards. And then also Nvidia paid $40 billion for ARM, which is the chip makers. So, fuck. They're bringing... Nvidia is going to be everywhere and anywhere. But the most interesting thing Nvidia do is all like the weird AI stuff that they build into their cards, like with the audio stuff, where it'll like drown out the background noise via AI and all this sort of crap. And then to finish off the news, Rocket League's free.
Wow.
I thought Rocket League went free a while ago.
No, they took it off. They took it off macOS.
Okay.
They stopped supporting it on macOS, so no one could play it on macOS anymore because it was 0.01 of like the player base. And of course, the 0.01 of the player base was like, "Well, I'm very angry about that.
I'd like to speak to your manager."
I'm sure they're furious.
And it's like, just install Windows on your laptop. You'll have a better time. Cretins, exactly. Should we talk about the games we've been playing?
I feel like we should, and I feel like it would be a great opportunity for Ollie and I to talk about all the terrible things that we've been doing to the world in Crusader Kings 3.
Please do, because I've been barely keeping up with the group chat because it is usually just walls of text of all the diet of like the terrible things that you've done, and I need to hear it from the mouths of the two rulers in bed.
So I played about 4 hours alone today. I still don't know how this game works.
Because mostly it's been me playing and Ollie directing.
She steers and I shout instructions.
Because when we give the controls to Ollie, he gets stressed.
Ollie, that game is just menus.
This game is nothing but menus.
And I love a good menu.
But I do as well, but so before you jump into it, I loaded up the tutorial.
Yep.
I installed it.
Yep.
Loaded up the tutorial. Alt F4'd straight out. No way. You guys can enjoy this tedious bullshit, not me.
I could not have made it through any of the game alone. I would have done exactly the same thing.
You're welcome.
I needed someone else to
so
play.
This is Lauren's fault.
Yeah. Well, no, because I had no idea this game existed, and then one day last week when it came out, Ollie was like, "Have you heard of Crusader Kings? Number 3's just come out." And then as soon as I heard that you could do all sorts of terrible things and breed and shit,
as soon as you heard about the eugenics,
I was in.
You were hooked.
No, it was just I wasn't too sold, and then he showed me a couple of trailers and some playthroughs, and I agreed to give it a go. And like 4 hours later, I was King of Sweden. So, you know, I would recommend. So, at the moment, we've had a couple of different playthroughs. Like, we went through the tutorial.
Okay, before this, what is Crusader Kings 3?
Lots of menus.
Crusader Kings 3 is I want to say a politics sim.
A world sim.
Is a 9th century politics sim.
Okay.
You play as horrible people.
All through the
world.
world.
And you do horrible things because if you try and be remotely nice, you just sit on your own in your country and have no fun.
It's like Civilization, but with all the boring bits pulled to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is like that. It's so like there's every microscopic detail is all included, and I love the detail. I love that I can just fall down a rabbit hole of just one man named Peter who sells potatoes. Like
Peter is my spy master.
did you?
I'm currently the Duke of Barcelona, and
Alone, yes. We both have our solo playthroughs where I'm King of Sweden, you're the Duke of Barcelona, so fairly inferior to me as King of Sweden.
well, I started lower, so
yeah, because you knew you couldn't handle it. And then together we have a very successful one that is going strange places at the moment, where like when you load up the game, there's different times you can start at. You can start in 867
it's 867
or 1066, and you have it offers you like different leaders like that it recommends and different difficulty levels. However, you can pick literally anyone who holds any kind of title in the entire world. So you can pick someone who is just a mere count of some tiny ass country, or you can just pick like the king of the Roman Empire and stuff like that. You can be anybody. So we spent a good hour searching for the perfect candidate for our destruction, and we settled on this Tibetan guy who he's in somewhere near Tibet, and the country name is literally just the letter U with those two Scandinavian
the
dot
umlauts.
Umlauts.
The umlauts.
Yeah, there's just two of those over it, and it's I don't know how it's pronounced. Probably or something. I'm very sorry if that's very wrong. It probably is. And he was 25. Had no wife because it turns out that they just like concubines, and yeah, so we took a few concubines. One of them was she had one eye actually. Do you remember the eye patch lady?
I don't remember anything.
So yeah, we started there, had some kids, and then we had we had twins, and our girl was albino, and I loved her, and we. When she was 16, we married her off to another albino baby who had just been born.
Yeah, so
so this is where the eugenics came in.
So the majority of the kind of busy work in this, I would say, comes down to breeding. there's
you could have put that in any other way.
It's what it is, though. It's a breeding.
It sounds like you're playing with guinea pigs.
It's essentially what it is. Like you can go to war, you can mess around with taxes and stuff, but as soon as I saw the word taxes in this game, I closed it down. There's so much busy work, but one of the things that's pretty simple to do and pretty easy to let you build your alliances with other countries is just to give them a child.
Yeah, so we spend a lot of our time picking the perfect betrothed.
Yeah, so you just find someone that's got a good army, and you just say, "Hey, I'm going to give you one of my kids.
Oh, okay.
Give me some support in my next war." And then the kids will have more babies with the other kids.
I remember in one of our playthroughs, it was when I was King of Sweden. He was 67, he was getting on a bit. His wife died while we were at war. War was going pretty badly, not gonna lie. Looked like we were gonna lose. Wife died, terrible times. And during the war, the guy we were at war with, his wife gave birth. To a girl. She was 0 years old. We're 67. You can see where this is going. So I said, I'll marry your baby.
Oh no, Lauren.
We won the war.
It ended the war.
Peacefully. Because
so you won't actually marry the children
until they're 16.
You will be betrothed to them. You're
basically.
That is exactly what you're doing. You are pre-ordering the child. The release date is always their 16th birthday. That's when the postman comes with your mail order baby, and that's when the marriage actually happens. Obviously, you can break the betrothal before then, but...
And then there's a pandemic and it gets delayed.
So yeah, that's how we stopped the war. in the King of Sweden. But then we had lots of things happened. There was a cannibal that we were trying to seduce because we found out that nobody wanted us. I couldn't seduce any of the ladies, and then we forgot to check our sexuality and we were gay. So I tried to seduce another man because I was looking for someone with power who was also fond of men, and I just started trying to seduce him, and then our spy master was like, "P.S. He's a cannibal." So we chose not to seduce him in the end, and we gave him our daughter. Not the albino one, the other one.
The cannibal.
So did the daughter get eaten?
No, he died.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he died.
That's fun. That's a fun end to this story.
Yeah, we tried to murder him, but he ended up just dying on his own of old age, which was quite anticlimactic. But that's Crusader Kings 3.
Hello?
That's
about as much as I can explain.
Yeah, cannibals, and you can sacrifice people as well.
It's all a lot less fun than it sounds.
It's very fun.
It sounds.
Have we lost Joel?
We've lost Joel.
Have you pulled out the headphone?
No. Look, nothing's happening on Joel's end.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
That was fun. You went your thing went white for a bit.
So did yours. We were still chatting.
Yeah, no, I could hear everything you were saying.
Oh, well.
It was just weird.
Maybe that was just divine intervention being like, I've heard
that was the 0-year-old baby you pre-ordered for marriage coming to haunt you like the baby in...
it was like, please, I've heard enough, you terrible, disgusting people.
So Paradox Interactive are this weird company that just put out these very in-depth strategy games. So I really enjoy their Stellaris. Stellaris?
Yeah.
Which is kind of... So what you're describing sounds like a more in-depth version of what Stellaris is, which makes me kind of mad that I can't get past, like, because I've put a fair few hours into Stellaris and really enjoyed it, and the randomness that comes with it.
See, I feel like you would enjoy it in the same capacity that Ollie enjoys it if you're not the one navigating the chaos. If you get you're not in the driver's seat, you get all of the fun and you don't have to do any of the work.
But that's the thing. It makes me mad that, like, I can, navigate intergalactic politics and stuff like that. It usually ends up with me just taking over large portions of the universe. But I can't get past, like, this tutorial because it was stuff like hover over the text box to get this information. But I was like, okay. And then I spent at least 2 minutes trying to hover over the text within the text box.
Oh, so the interface is not fun.
No, it's
no. So
everything just overlays everything.
Yeah, it feels like a Paradox game.
It feels like starting a new job and learning their complex ass system.
Exactly, and I don't know if I have the patience.
This is why save yourself, and next time
watch you guys.
In person, we will do a video.
Well, we'll try all this Parsec and Moonlight stuff, which hopefully should like allow for low latency screen sharing, so that I can experience the joy.
Yeah, we'll
with my friends,
and you can direct me, and we'll order you some babies.
No thanks. Tell me about the other games you've been playing, if there's any other games you've been playing.
We were going to play Wasteland. Is that what it's called?
We downloaded Wasteland 3, and I've been...
wait for me.
Screen. Are you coming to Wasteland 3 too?
I will join you for a Wasteland 3.
He's remade his main characters 3 times now, so I think he might be happy.
Sounds like Ollie.
It does indeed.
For reference, listener, Ollie likes to spend a lot of time in beginning areas of large games and never finishing them.
It's a chronic restarter.
So I don't think I've even started this game. I've just got past the character creation screen a few times. But...
I remember we made some characters together, and it was quite late at night, and quite often Ollie will just play a game and I'll have already fallen asleep because we use the laptop in the bedroom. And I fell asleep just after he finished creating the characters. Woke up about half an hour later because I dropped off, and he was back in character creation redoing it.
Ollie,
I gotta spec
you need
these guys
to
out. I gotta experiment and decide on my builds.
He spends the whole workday Googling how he wants to play the game, and then he gets home and he gets overwhelmed and just keeps restarting.
This is bad behavior. Bad behavior. Is there anything else you guys have been playing?
I've been playing some Halo.
Oh, you've been replaying Halo, and I've just been replaying a lot of Animal Crossing.
Just to pass the time. I've been playing Combat Evolved and trying to talk you through it after learning that you've barely even touched a Halo game. So.
Yeah, my only experience of Halo games is my younger brother, before he switched from Xbox to PlayStation, was very obsessed with Halo, and you talk about it a lot, but I have next to no knowledge of Halo games because I've never owned an Xbox.
It's essentially just been me trying to remember the alien names of all the Covenant.
And showing me the scary boys.
Grunts.
So we have Ungoy for grunts, and that's all I can remember.
I only remember their English names. I'm not going to start. I'm not starting to get deep into the fake language of Halo.
What about you, Joel?
Fucking hell.
What have you been playing? Dare I ask?
Oh, shit. Okay, so obviously this PC's been dead, so I haven't been able to play any Path of Exile, which has bummed me out because now the League has ended, and the new expansion comes out on the 18th.
Same day as Mario.
So now I need to re-roll so I can start this new league because you can't transfer characters over between leagues.
Really?
Yeah, if you want to play in the new league, which is Heist, so they're adding heists to Path of Exile.
Presumably that doesn't just make your existing character irrelevant.
No, they get put into the standard league, which is just the basic way to play. So if I wanted to continue that route, but when I last left that character, it was basically hold down R or the left mouse button and just kill everything, or die. So I'm probably going to re-roll again and play Heist. Hopefully hit the end game stuff this time around. But so while this PC's been out, I requested a birthday present early from my mother, and she poured money into my Switch, like Scrooge McDuck would do into his vault. So I bought 4 games with the rest of the money waiting for Mario if I decide to get it. So I bought Lapis Cross Labyrinth, which you might have seen on the front of the store, the eShop at some point, which is a dungeon crawler but with a twist. Heavy focus on like fast-paced action. Fever time where loads of jewels will start dropping. You you recruit a party of 4 by just basically heading into a menu saying, I want this class, this class, this class, and this class. I don't really know if there's much of a story other than like the town is poor, get some money. Go into the labyrinth, kill the bosses, save the town, put some and then put all your riches into the town and upgrade yourself is basically the crux of it. It's fun, but the Switch version suffers from when you get I like a game's chaos. I always like measure by frame rate.
Yeah,
and if a game manages to keep up with the chaos, I consider that bad chaos. So when this game drops into like single digit sometimes frames per second, when like all the jewels are firing, the special moves are going, the boss is on at max and stuff like that. It's very repetitive, but it's a nice like one dungeon before I go to sleep sort of game.
Yeah, pick it up, do a little bit, put it down, kind of thing.
Yeah. Which the other game that then I've had the other game that I bought. So the other games that I bought were Paradise Killer, which I haven't started. I loaded up the main menu, but then had to leave the house and forgot to carry on playing it. So never mind that. And then Moon, which is I would say it's the thing that heavily influenced like Undertale.
Yeah.
Outside of Earthbound. They call it, so it's a PS1 RPG that never left Japan back in the 90s. It's an anti-RPG. You play a character that is sucked into the world of Moon, and you witness the main hero that they've sent out to do this quest is basically just ransacking the town and just does not give a shit about anything, is leveling up, and everything's going to shit because of it. So you're this little character, and you level up by spreading the love. So your level is LV, love.
Oh.
It's very cute. It's made by Onion Games, or they're basically the people that now that were attached to it. Now Onion. Some of them are now Onion Games. So it's the first time it's been translated. It is extremely PS1. I need a guide, so I got through the first the tutorial, not the tutorial area, just like the first walk around town, and then I died. Because you need to keep your love level up so that unless you sleep, you just die, and it kicks you back out. And so I'm like, I need a guide to go along with this at all times. Fuck this. But the main one that I've been playing is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yes, I remember your long list of things you needed to say about this.
Should I find the list?
Find the list in the group chat of your
so that
many
I can
points.
so that I can remember what So this game's weird. In a way that I am not especially enjoying.
It's always on offer, which for a Nintendo game that says a lot.
So it's not a Nintendo game.
Is it not? Is it just a partnership?
It is. It is a Ubisoft game.
Oh, well, there you go.
It is a Ubisoft game. It is Mario but XCOM. Without any of like the bits that make XCOM
fun.
Yeah, so there's like there's very, you get your characters. So at the minute, my favorite go-tos are, you can't remove Mario from the party. It is always Mario has to be the lead, because I think the cutscenes are just animated that way. I'm trying to find this list.
Search Luigi and Peach, because you were complaining that you couldn't have them both together.
Yeah, so you've always got Mario in the party, which I guess is fine. Whatever, he's Mario. So you can have as many of the Rabbids versions of the characters. So like you can have Rabbids Luigi, Rabbids Peach, Rabbids Luigi, Rabbids Mario, etc., etc. You can have any combination of them, but you can't have like Mario, Luigi, and Peach. And I think it's because they have, like in XCOM, where you have like the Overwatch thing, where an enemy will come into the line of sight, and then they'll fire on them when it's not your turn. All the Mushroom Kingdom characters seem to have that built in,
right,
like as one of their special abilities. So I want Luigi and Peach, because Luigi's basically a sniper, and Peach is got a shotgun, and Mario's an in-between.
Are they straight up carrying guns? Like,
yeah,
they
it is
gave a gun to Mario.
It is the weirdest thing. There is a cutscene where Peach, enters the fray, and she's just got a shotgun, and she just blow some motherfuckers, blow. her like special abilities, like, so they all have like the whole. It is such a weird fucking game. I would much prefer if it was just all Rabbids, because I feel like them linking in with Mario prevents like a lot of the humor that I like about the Rabbids falling to the wayside. Like, did you play that Wii Rabbids game where they have a trolley and they try to collect everything, and it's got the high-paced samba music and polka music and stuff?
Initial Rayman Raving Rabbids,
the one that everyone was disappointed it wasn't Rayman 4.
Exactly, and then I think I didn't even realize that Rabbids was still a thing until this very game came out.
Yeah, so Rabbids have been like under the surface. I think they tried to launch a cartoon with them, but it flopped. They're not especially appealing.
Rabbids remind me
like
of Minions.
Yes. But
that's not high praise.
But like, I like them because they're incredibly chaotic in their own games.
Okay.
They are destructive. Like the whole thing of this is that they've the whole game is set up with like the Rabbids have time traveled or jumped into another dimension via a washing machine. And there's hundreds of them in this washing machine, and it's the funniest fucking thing. I was laughing so hard. And then they find this device that can fuse things together and end up traveling to the Mushroom Kingdom via the washing machine. And the Rabbid accidentally fuses the goggles to his face and ends up fusing all the different things together, and then causing chaos within the Mushroom Kingdom. So like, one of the first boss is like Rabbid Kong, so it's Rabbid fused with Donkey Kong, I think.
So this is where you get the doppelganger type character.
Yeah. From. And so like, it's not like the Rabbids are a 1-to-1 copy of like, Rabbid Peach is not a 1-to-1 copy of Peach.
Yeah.
Rabbid Peach is actually like very similar to Mario, but with healing instead of power, and Peach is shotguns and healing. Rabbid Mario scares me a lot because they've designed him and all his characteristics are like this greasy Italian with a toothpick in his mouth. He just needs to go, "Hey," that sort of thing. Like he's only ever seen Captain Lou Albano as Mario, and that's his entire reference for what a Mario is. Some of the humor's a little bit outdated. Like Rabbid Peach is always taking selfies.
Oh.
Rabbid Luigi is an idiot. I just got Rabbid Yoshi, which is fun because he's got a machine gun. And he screams to scare enemies away. But then Rabbid Mario dances to draw enemies in, so it's always fun because then he's got a big shotgun and you shoot it and it's like everything's dead. But so in between all these like XCOM style battles of like getting into cover and percentages and stuff like that, but it's not like percentages like XCOM where it's like 82% chance to hit. It's like 50, it's like 0, 50, 100. It's very simple in that capacity.
Okay.
I wish there was like an undo button like in Fire Emblem.
Yes, the Divine Pulse, which was only added in the latest editions.
But also like Fire Emblem always has like this proper confirm, like, are you sure you want to do this move?
Yeah.
Before you commit to it. This, if you accidentally hit like A while you're shifting a character from one place to the other, you can end up out of cover and then fucked. And you just have to restart the whole thing because it also grades you. And for some reason, I need to be 100% at this game aimed mostly at children. Because it gets surprisingly difficult at some points. There's an enemy that will swing like a rock from his like big boy, and swings a rock down on you and he takes like loads of health off you and stuff like that. So you want to like kite him around because you'll get attracted to whoever shoots him first. I don't know. It also doesn't feel like a real video game. It feels fake.
I remember you saying, and I kind of see what you mean. It's got gacha vibes. It's got these preloaded animations.
Yes. Yeah. So like I especially hate the animation for the team jump. So you can like move say like Luigi moves to Mario and then jumps on Mario and then he can get further into the field so that you can get behind cover somewhere else. But Mario like goes onto his back and lifts his legs up.
Oh.
And he'll just stay like that with his dick in the air. And then he'll fling Luigi. Like Luigi's got it. Luigi's got this down. He just punches Mario up into the air with his fist. But like Mario's there on the ground, like, and then I don't know if Charles Martinet was involved with this game very much, or they just got given like 5 sound clips for each character, because Mario makes very little noise. He does his like noises and stuff like that. But then whenever he throws like a character across the field, which is very regularly, like the team jump stuff is vital to the game. He'll be like, "Let's play," and that's it. That's the only thing he says. Toad is in this game multiple times, and Toad is part of the problem because in between all these battles, you have to do like little environmental puzzles and like you're going through a level way, and it's just the most irritating thing. I just want to get to the next shooting fight. Give me a cutscene. But yeah, no, I think if this was just a Rabbids XCOM game of them like traveling through time and the pressure of like an XCOM game, but with Rabbids and the chaos and stuff like that, I would have a much better time.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was any kind of overworld stuff in this.
Yeah, it's there's some references and like some jokes and stuff like that to for whatever a Mario is, but I don't know. Peach also doesn't seem to have much grasp on her kingdom. She just lets these.
Whenever does she? She gets stolen all the time.
Well, she gets stolen all the time, but like this time she's not been stolen. She's just let these Rabbids like build these weird contraptions and clearly unsafe environment around the castle, and she's just okay with it. Like they've got a nuclear reactor washing machine that sends them through time, and it's just parked outside the Mushroom King, outside her castle.
Too busy taking selfies.
Well, no, that's Rabbid Peach. Please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive
so
me.
Sorry. Yeah, I like the Rabbids. I think they're funny. They make me giggle. I'm like a middle-aged mother with minions with them.
Janet.
Janice really enjoys the Rabbids because they're French and they remind me of Oggy and the Cockroaches. Quite a lot, like French cartoons that you would find on like Pop TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's it that I've been playing. I guess. I think.
I'm sure that will change by the time we next speak.
So, yeah, let's wrap this thing up because we're coming up on 2 hours for a first episode.
Oh,
that's many, many times.
Many, many times. I think Ollie might fall asleep.
I think he might.
I think he might.
We will reconvene either sooner than next week for the PlayStation stuff to discuss that, if anything is worth discussing in that.
Just a price, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I price and maybe some games.
Maybe if we're spoiled.
If we're spoiled, yes, that's it. We're spoiled by the corporations. No, just give me the products that I want to buy.
They look after us.
Oh, big corporations, yeah.
Woo! That's it for this episode. If you want to find the beans on places,
we are the beans.
just go to superprofessional.co.uk. All the bean stuff will be there for the time being.
Beaning.
Time being. Oh, that sounds terrible.
I'm sorry.
Beaning. I don't want to be beaned.
Oh, you'd be a baked bean.
Sopping wet.
Oh.
In a bathtub.
A mushy baked bean. With a man in it. That's it for this episode. We're gonna go, and I'm gonna see if this, and we're gonna go to bed.
Yeah,
because we're elderly.
We are so elderly.
Thank you for listening. If you've made it this far,
we're sorry.
Yeah, we'll be back again, hopefully. Goodbye.
Bye.